Hey book friends, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I have a bit of a book haul, another book haul. This is 4 book hauls for 2022 already, which I'm not sure what to make of that, but I'm okay with it. I'm not like on a book buying ban or anything like that, although maybe I should be. Maybe I should put one on myself. But I have some really fun books to show you today, and a lot of them are from thrift books or book outlet. The same order I placed back a month ago when I shared with you all the new detective murder mystery type books I picked up. I also picked up some fantasy books, but I wanted to split out the haul because it was just too big and I wanted to keep them a little genre specific so you could watch whatever you're interested in. But I am so stinking excited for some of these books, you guys. So excited. So let's hop in to the book haul. So welcome to the channel if you're new, welcome back if you've been coming for a while. Like I said, book haul, a really fun book haul. And there are a number of heavy books in this book haul. It was a little hard to hold up. So let me start with a set of the 3 books that I picked up all together. I picked them up off the Mercari app. I'll link it down below. I do a lot of book buying off that. That's where I get a lot of my used books. Like for instance, I picked up these 3 books for $15. You guys, $15. It was fantastic. I probably wouldn't have picked it up if it weren't for that price, but I really wanted to try them out and I've been hearing amazing things about this whole series. So I will just hold up the first one, which is Ruin of Kings. The second one I think is this one, The Name of All Things. And the third one is The Memory of Souls. And they're all by Jen Lyons. And they're part of, I think it's called the Chorus of Dragons trilogy. And so it is definitely a fantasy series. And from what I understand about it, it's a little bit confusing, but in a good way. And I like confusing in books, so I'm hoping it's my kind of confusing. But it's about this boy named Kieran who grew up on like tales of like knights and dragons and kingdoms and like bravery and things like that. And then it sounds like he gets drawn into the palace. He's claimed as the missing son of a treasonous prince. And from what I understand about these books is it's told kind of in story form. Like Kieran is in prison when he's telling the story when the book opens, I guess, and he's telling his story as to how he got to prison. Then I think there's another person in there with him who's like, no, that's not far enough back. And she takes the story back further, fills in some gaps. And it sounds like it might be confusing in the sense you're going over the same timeline, but from different perspectives, which sounds really interesting to me. And it almost reminds me of, which I'm not sure if it is true, but it reminds me of the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, that kind of setup, which I really liked. So I'm hopeful that I'm going to like these books. But I did pick up all 3. So those are the first 3 books that I picked up for this book haul. So we'll get those out of the way. And then I have a few books that my sister gave me. My sister is amazing, and she often either gives me books she doesn't really like or she buys fancier copies, and so I get her original copies, which I am never sad about. So she gave me this one, and so this is called The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. I have no idea what this is about. Give me a second. And I read the back and I'm still a little unsure. It sounds like there is this large kingdom which is divided into 7 different sections, and there's different alliances and different politics, and we're following a couple characters. Cooney, who is a wily bandit who doesn't really care about what's going on, and then Jaya, who is a free-spirited daughter of one of the well-to-do families. Anyway, it sounds like they kind of fight against the Empire. I'm not sure. I have seen this book on a number of different channels I follow, but I'm not quite sure what it's about. But anyway, my sister gave it to me, so I will check it out. Another one she gave to me was this one. So this is The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart. And I think the second book just came out, so a number of people are reading this currently. It sounds really interesting. It sounds like there is this emperor who is over a large territory, but a lot of that is like islands. And then the emperor is a master of the bone shard magic, but then it sounds like he does not appoint his daughter as heir, and she is then trying to like prove herself and gain the magic to prove her dad wrong or something like that. So anyway, this sounds really good. And then I'm not sure what the second book is called, but I'm interested in getting into this, or at least seeing if I like this world, since it is a first book in at least 2 that I know about. So I have that book now to look into. So I picked up Spinning Silver. I picked this up from Book Outlet, I think, and I read this past December, I believe, and I really liked it. It is by Naomi Novik, and it is basically a loose Rumpelstiltskin retelling. following this girl who is the daughter of a moneylender, but he's a bad moneylender, and so they're very poor. He never collects on the debts, and so she takes over and she starts collecting on the debts, and she's just really good at it, but that gains the attention of the Stark King, which are fey creatures in the wintry realm that is just right beside their village sort of idea, and so she kind of gets sucked into his world, and it goes from there. And I just really enjoyed this book. So when I saw that this was on Book Outlet, I picked it up, and then my sister gave me this one. So this is another Naomi Novik. This is called Uprooted, and what this one is about, to my understanding, is there is this woods outside of this village. Villagers feel like they have to sacrifice a girl, yep, a young woman every 10 years to a cold-driven wizard who lives in the woods. And so I believe this follows the girl who gets sacrificed into the woods and what happens to her. Not really sure. I don't know more than that, but I really liked this. So I was happy to take this and be like, yes, I'll read it. I'll see if I like it. Although I feel like more people like Spinning Silver than Uprooted, but I could be wrong. And so I'm really excited to give that a shot. So another book I picked up for a buddy read with my sister is Witchhaven by Sasha Payton Smith. And one of you recommended this to me, and I can't remember why or what I was reading, but you thought I would really like it, and then I read the synopsis, and I was like, yes, I think I would really like that. So this, I believe, is a YA book. It's about witches, obviously, but it's turn of the century, which is, I think that's what it was, is I was looking for historical fantasy books. So again, I'm always looking for historical fantasy. I think that is the genre I just really like. So this is 1911 New York City. There's a 17-year-old girl named Frances who she lost her brother mysteriously, like he was mysteriously murdered, but then she ends up getting attacked by this man, and then she ends up killing him. And instead of her like going to prison or something like that, there's these people that whisk her away to this asylum, but the asylum is actually a school of witches, and she's taught witchcraft, and it says that she has no interest in the small safe magic. And it sounds like she's pretty good at the magic, and she attracts the attention of some mysterious leaders, an ancient order of dangerous leaders in New York City. So it goes from there. I'm not sure. It sounds like there might be a little bit of a love attraction. So that's good for me to know going into books. I like to know that ahead of time. That way I'm prepared for it. So I picked that one up. What else do I have? Oh, I have these books. So I've already read these, but I wanted to pick up myself a copy because I had listened to them when they first came out. So I own Nevermoor up there somewhere by Jessica Townsend, and these are the next two books in the series. So there's Wondersmith, which is number 2, which is, this was in excellent condition, and then there is this one, which is Hollowpox, and I got this off of Thrift Books in not so excellent condition. I'm not really impressed by the copy I was given, but that's okay. I still really enjoyed the story, and I actually want to read it again in the physical form because I enjoyed the audio, but I feel like I would get more out of the physical books, especially since the 4th book is coming out in the fall. So I picked these back up. So I'm hoping to do like a bit of a reread before that 4th book comes out. So let me know if anybody's interested in rereading those with me, but I picked them up so that I could do that. Speaking of middle grade series, I also picked up some more of the Keeper of the Lost Cities books. I think I got these used as well. So I picked up book 3, Everblaze, and book 4, Never Seen. And I picked these up used because I really enjoyed the first book in this series. And these are about a girl named Sophie who grew up in the human world but didn't realize she was an elf until she was brought in to the elvish world, into a magic school system, kind of like Nevermoor in Harry Potter, where she then is put into a magic school and she's learning kind of her giftings, and there's a lot of things she doesn't understand about herself. There's a lot of things that the elders of the society don't understand about her. So it's just been really fun. These are like some really big middle grade books, which is totally fine because they read super fast, and I really enjoyed the first one. So I'm hoping I'm going to enjoy the rest of these. But middle grade books are so cheap, and so I couldn't pass up collecting a few more just so that I could keep reading this series. Let's see what else I have. Oh, I picked up this one from Book of the Month. Not this month, not April, but I think this was March's pick. So this is the Cartographers. And I thought that sounded just really, really good. And it sounds like there's this girl who has like this famous dad who is a legend in the map making business, but then she gets into something and they have this fight and she's separated from him, but then he is found dead in the New York City library, and she starts investigating what's going on, what were the people after that murdered him, and she gets involved. And I just thought that sounded really fun. I don't know. That one was the one that just called to me the most out of all of the March picks from Book of the Month. And so I picked that one up. And then the last book I picked up used and a little bit on a whim was this one. So this is Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahar. I'm not sure how to say her name. I feel like this was a popular YA series a while ago, but I saw a copy and it sounded interesting. And sometimes I feel like maybe I will like YA series. Like I really like Scythe and things like that. So I'm going to give it a shot. And if anything, I just picked up a really cheap used copy of the first one. So it won't be a big deal if I don't like it, and I'll just put it in my little free library down the street. It sounds like this is about Laya. Laya has a brother who was arrested for treason, and it sounds like you really don't want to mess with the Empire, but she ends up kind of getting involved. And then it sounds like she gets recruited by some rebels who ask her to do some spying for them in exchange for information about her brother or help with her brother, something like that. So I don't know, it sounded interesting and worth at least checking out if I like the series. And so I kind of picked this one up on a whim, but that is the last book. Yes, that is the last book for this latest haul. And I'm just really excited about it all. I have really been enjoying reading more fantasy. I don't know what it is about 2022, but I'm just really drawn to fantasy books. And so I picked up some, and I was kindly given some by my sister. And so I hope you enjoyed the books I shared with you. Let me know if you're a fantasy reader. Let me know if you love these books, your thoughts on these books. Let me know, even if you're not a fantasy reader, would you potentially pick up some of these books? Let me know all that down below. But otherwise, give the video a thumbs up if you like haul videos, and subscribe to the channel if you want to. And otherwise, I will see you guys in the next book video, guys. All right, have a wonderful day. Okay,